Our today's topic is SI and CI. In this topic, first of all, everyone knows that what is CI. Simple interest that will be always same for every year. Let's say if I say I borrow principal 1000 rupees for the rate of interest 10% and for 2 years. Time is 2 years. Okay. So in first of all, what is SI? SI is actually some percentage of your principal. If I borrow 10% at the rate of 10%, 1000 rupees, so SI will be the 10% of the principal, 10% of the 1000. Basically, it will be the 100 rupees SI for 1 year. If SI for 1 year is 100 rupees, so if I borrow that amount for 2 years, it will be same. For the first year it will be 100. For the second year again it will be 100. So answer will be 200. You can also do this in this way. Let's say if the principal is 1000 and rate of interest, if they said it's 10%, in time will be 3 years. Which means if 1 year you are getting 10% of your principal as an SI, so in 3 years you will get a 30% of your principal. Okay, so you will get 30% of your principal. Let me write it here. 30% of your principal, so it will be 300. Answer is simple. Is it clear? Now the next thing is, first we try to solve all the question of SI, then we will talk about the CI. So everyone knows these formulas. Now let's start with some questions. Let's say in this question it says that Reena took a loan of 1200, which means principal is a 1200 with a simple interest as many years as the rate of interest, which means if rate of interest is 10 hai, so years will be 10. If rate of interest is 2%, year will be 2%, which means rate of interest and years, the value is same. And she paid 432 as an interest. Overall interest she has paid 432, and we have to figure it out what is the rate of interest. Okay, how we will solve this question? Everyone knows the simple basic formula of SI, PRT by 100. Okay, in my question SI is already given, that is 432 rupees. Principal is already given, and for the rate of interest and time they said these two values are same, so I can use the same variable for these two. Let's say I can use x and x, so can I take it as x square divide by 100, right? So what will be the rate of interest in this case? You can cross multiply or directly arrange भी कर सकते हैं. So 12 divide this value, so these will be x square will be 36. So if x square 36 is, so what will be the value of x? 6. So answer will be 6 in this question. Now the second question. In this question they said the interest for third year on a certain sum, third particular year. Okay, it's not 3 years, third particular year, the interest on some sum, that is a 3000, and we have to figure it out the sum of the interest that he has occurred on 6th year, 7th year and 8th year together. So basically this question is based on SI, and we all know that every year SI will be same. If on third year SI was 300, which means every year they are getting 3000, sorry, they are getting 3000 every year. So in 6th, 7th and 8th year, all 3 years they will get 3000. So 3 years are there, and every year if they will get 3000, so answer will be simply 9000. Very simple and easy question is this. Now this question says that a sum was invested for 2 years, it will give 300 more if invested at 3% higher. देखो, in this question whatever the principal, whatever the rate of interest, right, they said if your rate of interest will be 3% higher, so for 2 years it will give you 300 extra, which means 6% of your principal. As I told you, your SI is simply some percentage of your principal, right? If you will give 3% extra rate for 2 years, which means it will give you 300 extra, which means 6% is equal to 6% of your principal, है ना? 6% of your principal is 300. So 1% of your principal will be 50 rupees. As you know that principal always be 100%, so 100% value of this will be 5,000. So your answer will be 5,000 for this question. Now it's another question. A sum amount to 108, amount to, which means principal plus interest, okay, interest of 2 years, then it amount to 1008, okay, and amount to 11112 in 3 years, which means principal plus 3-year interest, that is equal to 112, which means in both the equation, what's the difference of 1 year. So from this equation I can figure it out. 1 year interest, that is from this, if I subtract this value 112 minus, actually I need to do 112 minus this, so basically 108 hai and 112 hai, so basically 104 is the interest, 1 year interest. If 1 year interest 104 hai, so I have to figure it out the sum and the rate of interest per annum, both the things I need to figure it out. So for the principal, if in 2 years it's become 118, in this value principal is there plus 2 year interest. So 1 year interest, as I know, 104 hai, so 2 year interest will be 208, so principal will be 208. If I subtract this from interest from this, so I will get 800 as my principal, right? Now we figure it out. 800 principal hai and 1 year interest 104 hai. Now I have to figure it out the rate of interest. Let me tell you, for rate of interest, simple formula is there. Whenever you need to figure it out rate of interest, what you can use, you can use SI for 1 year divide by principal. So in my this question, SI I figure it out for 1 year, that is 104, and principal I figure it out 800. This is a fraction. To convert any fraction into percentage, we multiply with 100, so I need to do this. So it's a 13%. So I got 800 principal, I got 800 principal and 30% as a rate of interest. Now these type of question, how can we solve this question? These type of question, we can solve this question using the allegation method. In allegation, I guess I had teach you already. So a shopkeeper borrowed 20,000 from two money lenders. Two different money lenders, shopkeepers together borrow 20,000. For one loan he is paying 20% per annum, for other he is paying 14% per annum, and for one he is paying 20% per annum, for other he is paying 14% per annum. In allegation, as you know that if percentage given us, so overall the rate of interest we need to figure it out. They said after 1 year he paid this much amount as a total interest. How much did he borrow for? So first of all, we will figure it out the overall rate of interest. I teach you right now overall rate of interest. To figure it out overall rate of interest, what we need to do, we need to take a SI for 1 year, given SI is for 1 year, and the total principal we will, and into 100. These two zeros will cancel out. Okay, now on 2 I am dividing this. So basically 12.8% is the overall interest. So in the allegation, what we will do, we'll take a difference of these two, that is 0.8. We will take difference of these two, that will be 1.2, Now we will figure it out the ratio of these two values. On 4 it's a 3 and 2, which means total ratio that he has borrowed, it's a 5 ratio. 3 ratio he borrowed at the rate of 12% per annum, and 2 ratios of the principal he borrowed at the rate of 14% per annum. So I need to figure it out the amount. So total 5 ratio hai. So what I will do, 5 here I am writing 5 ratio is equal to 20,000, 1 ratio is equal to 4,000. Since he borrow here 3 ratio, so 3 into 4,000 it will be 12,000, and 4 into 2 it will be 8,000. So answer will be B for this question. In the same way you can solve this question, but in this question what's different, 950 principal है, one he borrows at a 6%, other he borrow at a 4%. But in this question SI for 5 year given है, but in the formula what do you need, SI for 1 year. देखो SI same रहता है, if 5 year 200 SI है, so 1 year will be 40. So you have to figure it out like this. Your rate of interest on 5 okay, like this you have to figure it out. And then you have to take a rate of interest overall, and then fraction method you can use this. One more method I can teach you for this type of question, let me tell you. You can use this like देखो, for a one he is paying 6%, for a other he is paying 4%, which means 950 he has borrowed, here he is paying let's say 4%, here he is paying 4% plus 2%. Right? Let's say if he has to pay only 4%, the common value of this, so 4% of this for 1 year 4% है, for 5 year it will be 4 into 5 20%. So interest he should pay, what interest he should pay, 190, but actually he is paying 200 rupees, which means 10 rupees extra he is paying. That 10 rupees extra he is paying for this, which means 2% of your principal is equal to 10 rupees. 1% of your principal is 5, so 100% will be 500. This is the another way that you can use for these type of questions. Now this is the last type of SI. Whenever they said, every time you know that na SI जो है it's the same for every year, right? They said if SI at a simple interest doubles in 6 years, which means from one, let's say principal 1 है, and it amount to double 2 rupees. Let's say principal 1 rupees है, it amount to 2 rupees in how many years? 6 years. Principal was 1 rupees, now it amounts to 2 rupees, which means here you gain 1 rupees as a interest. To gain 1 rupees as an interest you took 6 years, right? What we have to answer, it will become in 4 times. अब आपको क्या करना है, 1 to 4, 1 principal है, if principal 1 rupees है, now we want our amount to 4 rupees. If to how many rupees has been added now as interest, 3 rupees. If to gain only 1 rupees you are taking 6 years. To now to gain 3 rupees, how many years you need? 18 years, right? Now here the SI has been covered. Now we need to understand about the compound interest. Okay students, so now we will discuss about compound interest. As you all know that compound interest is an interest on interest, which means you are getting interest on the interest value itself. Like in this question, I'll give you one simplest approach to figure it out the compound interest. Let's say principal is given as 1000, I have borrowed let's say 1000 at the rate of 10% for 3 years, but on a compound interest, and I have to figure it out the what will be my compound interest. Principal देखो principal is 1000. One thing you all should know that rate to simple interest and compound interest for 1 year always be equal. Okay, so what will be the 10% of 1000? It will be 100 rupees, obviously 10% of 1000 will be the 100 rupees, as you all know that, right? So first year I will get 100 rupees. Okay, let's say it's let me erase this first. Just a second. Let's say it's a first year. In the first year I'll get simply 10% of my principal as a interest, that is a 100 rupees, right? Now in the second year what I will get, I'll first get the 10% of the principal, that is 100 rupees, and also I will get the interest on the interest which I have received earlier, which means in the first year, in the previous year I have received 100 rupees as interest. So here I will get the 10% of this also, that is a 10 rupees, right? And in the third year again I'll get the interest 100 rupees of my principal, then I will get the interest on the interest which I have received in the previous year. So in the previous year I have received all this complete interest I have received. So I will have a total 210 rupees as a interest, and I will get a 10% of this. So basically 21 rupees of this I'll get as a interest in the third year. So overall my interest is total interest that I just a second, let me change my pen. So overall interest that I have received, that is this. So how much compound interest I have received? 100, 200 and 300, 300 and plus this 331 rupees I have received as my compound interest. So did you understand the concept of compound interest? In this concept, on a interest you are getting interest. Okay? That is called compound interest. Now the next question is there. Find the interest earned in the first year on 400 at a 20% compound interest. But in this question, one simple difficulty they have added. This time interest is compounded half yearly. If this type of question is there, when they said compound interest is calculated half yearly, interest is calculated, sometimes they will say quarterly, तो आपको क्या करना है, half yearly, which means in 1 year how many times they will calculate interest? 2 times, right? So your time value for this question now will be 2 years, although in 1 year they are calculating interest, but since they are calculating half yearly, which means in a year they will calculate 2 times, they will give you 2 time interest, so you will take as a time as a 2 year. Okay, अब क्या also देखो rate of interest will be half. Why? देखो if I say in complete 1 year I'll give you 20% as a interest, since I'm calculating half yearly आफ्टर एवरी 6 months, तो मैं कैसे, हाउ आई विल डिवाइड दिस 20%? ऐसे करूँगी, फर्स्ट 6 months आई विल गिव यू 10%, देन 6 months आई विल गिव यू 10%, इन 1 year आई विल गिव यू 2 times, है ना? सो वेन एवर दिस क्वेश्चन इज लाइक दिस ना, so what you need to do, half yearly and compounded half yearly or quarterly. So देखो if they said half yearly, तो what do you need to do, you have to take in a 1 year 2 times, so you have to take your time 2. In rate of interest, total rate of interest is 20% in 1 year, since they are calculating in 1 year 2 times, so your rate of interest will be now 10%, so you have to take your rate of interest 10% and principal is given at 400. Now calculate compound interest for this question. Very simple, I had already teach you this. So your principal is 400 and you are getting 10% of it. Okay, so now your question is, your rate of so your principal is 400, in every year you are getting 10% and you have to calculate it as compound in as a compound interest for 2 years. Okay, so for a first year you will get just 10% of your principal, so 10% of your principal will be the 40 rupees. Second year, since we have to calculate for 2 years, second year you are getting 40% of your 10% of your principal, that is a 40 rupee, plus you are getting interest on interest which you have earned in the previous year. 1 year So 40 rupees on 40 rupees, if you are calculating 10% interest, you are getting 4 rupees. So total interest after 2 year, compound interest after 2 year you are getting, that is a 40 plus 40 80, 80 plus 4 84. That is your answer. Is it clear? Now the next question is this. Now the next difficulty is here. They will ask you for this principal है 10,000, rate of interest 10% है, but now the time is 1 year 73 days. समटाइम वो आपको डेज देंगे. सो 1 year तो ठीक है, फर्स्ट ईयर आई विल कैलकुलेट, बट फॉर सेकेंड ईयर they are not giving you the complete value, they are giving you value for a 73. So first of all let me tell you what you will do. You will just take simply 1 year plus some days है ना, so figure it out compound interest for 2 year first of all. Okay, so for a first year you will get 10% of this. 10% of this will be 1,000 rupees. You are getting 1,000 rupees as a interest, right, on your principal. Second year, first of all you will get 1,000 rupees, and then you will get a interest on interest. So 1,000 rupees ka 10% will be the 100 rupees, right? Second year you are getting this. So basically as a compound interest for this question for 2 years, 1 year you are getting 1,000, second year you are getting, for second year, second particular year you are getting 1,100 rupees as a interest total है ना. But since you have to give interest for only 73 days out of 65 days, so basically 1/5 रेशियो ऑफ दिस इंटरेस्ट. सो इन द सेकेंड ईयर देखो, फर्स्ट ईयर तो आपने 1,000 दिया, 1,000 यू विल गिव दिस इंटरेस्ट for the first year, but for the second year you have getting 1100 for complete 365 days you are getting, but we have to pay only for a 73 days. That is the 1/5 of this. So 1/5 of this will be 220. So first year interest you will calculate completely 1,000, but from the second year you will pay only for the 1/5 of this, ठीक है, for only 73 days. So total interest here you have figured it out, that will be 1,220 rupees. That will be your answer. Okay. Now same question है, what you will do. देखो, अच्छा, they'll confuse you like this. देखो, principal है 8,000, rate of interest 20% है, but they are calculating 9 month and compounded quarterly. Quarterly क्या होता है? In 1 year 4 time है, but since you are not calculating for year, you are calculating for 9 months. So for 4 year कैसे रहेगा 4 times? First 3 months, then 3 months, then 3 months, then 3 months. 4 time है ना, compounded quarterly. But since the time is 9 month, so for 9 month आप after every 3 month आप कितनी बार interest pay करोगे? Only 3 times. So your time will be 3. Rate of interest, क्योंकि वो आपको पूरे पर annum लिखा है, for per annum they are giving you 20%. साल में 4 बार, in year 4 times. So one time installment you will pay as a 5%. So you will take your rate of interest 5 and your principal will be 8,000. This will be the new values to figure it out the answer. Okay. So same है, for a first year you are getting 5% of the principal, ठीक है. आप ऐसे 8,000 का 5%, as you know that you can calculate it manually also. So you are getting 400 rupees. For a second year, first of all you are getting 5% of the principal, that is 400 rupees. Then you are getting interest on interest, that is the 400 ka 5%. 400 5% will be 20 rupees. And then you are getting in a third year you are getting 400 on your principal, then you are getting interest on the interest for the previous year. So for this 400 you are getting 20 rupees. For this 400 again you are getting 20 rupees, and for this 20 rupees 5% of this 20 rupees you are getting as a 1. So how much interest you calculated total? 4 plus 4 plus 4 1200 plus 40 plus 20 plus 1. So basically total you have figured it out, 1,261 rupees. Now this type of question is there, if 2,000 amount to 2,880 in 2 years. देखो वेरी सिंपल थिंग है. अब सेकेंड टाइप जो है आप ये भी कर सकते हो. इन 2 years 2000 अमाउंट टू 2880. ठीक है. व्हाट इज़ द रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट पर एनम इफ़ द इंटरेस्ट इज़ बीइंग कंपाउंड इन एनुअली. देखो एक ये चीज़ भी है, आप ये कर सकते हो. इट्स योर प्रिंसिपल इन इट्स योर अमाउंट. ओके. इन दिस टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन 2 years का टाइम है ना. सो व्हाट यू नीड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, प्लीज सिंप्लीफाई एंड फिगर इट आउट द रेशियो ऑफ दिस. I on 2 I'm dividing it and figure it out the ratio. On 2 I'm dividing it and it will be this. This 0 is cancel out and now I got 100 and this, which means 100. आपको यहाँ पे यू हैव टू फर्स्ट मेक इट अ फ्रिक्शन. आपको देखो 100 कैसे मिलता है. 10 into 10 विच मीन्स इसका रूट बना दो. रूट. So you are getting 10 here and you are getting 12 here, which means on a 10 rupees you are getting 20 rupees as a amount. ठीक है. So we have to figure it out. In 1 year you are getting 20. So in 1 year what will be your rate of interest? On a 10 rupees you are getting 2 rupees as a interest. So your rate of interest will be 20% in this question. Now this difference type question, I'm just giving you one formula that you need to remember. In every difference type of question, they'll hardly ask you difference for 2 years or 3 years. For 2 years you need to remember the formula principal into rate of interest. हम लिखते हैं ना r by 100, r by 100 I can write it. And if 2 years है, you have to power for 2 and is equal to difference. This difference is for 2 years. Sometimes they will give you principal value and the rate of interest, ask you about the difference. Sometimes they will give you difference value. You just need to put the value. Like in this question what I am doing here, what will be the difference between SI and CI on 600 rupees. Principal given है, rate of interest given है, and we have to figure it out the difference. तो मैं क्या करूँगी, instead of principal I will put my value. रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट कितना है, 10% है. सो सिंस रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट स्क्वायर में है तो 2 बार हम लिख लेते हैं 10 by 100 एंड इज इक्वल टू डिफरेंस. ठीक है. दीज 2 zeros आर कैंसल आउट. ठीक है. सो व्हाट आई एम लेफ्ट विद दीज 2 zeros आर ऑल्सो कैंसल आउट. सो आई गॉट द डिफरेंस एज अ 6 rupees. So basically the formula for a 2 years difference will be P into R by 100 squared is equal to difference. Okay. So since in this question what they said that what will be the difference between SI and CI on principal given है, rate of interest given है, but what they have written, compounded half yearly. So whenever I told you, whenever they will say compounded half yearly, तो you have to change your questions. ठीक है. compounded half yearly साल in 1 year 2 times है, so time will be 2 years and your rate of interest will be half, 5%. है ना. 5% will be the rate of interest. Now just put the value accordingly. This principal value given as 600, rate of interest we will take as a 5% because we are calculating for 2 times now. 5 by 100, 5 by 100 into difference we have to figure it out. These 2 zeros are directly cancel out. 5 into 5 25 है, ये 4 हो गया. So what we got here, 6 by 4 is equal to difference. So basically 3 by 2, basically the difference is 1.5. Is it clear? Similarly you can solve this question using the same formula. Just put the values here. In this question you can see the difference given है. So I have to figure it out the principal rate of interest है 4% for 2 years है because they are calculating annually, so I'm taking 4 as this. Difference given है 20. Cross multiply, so you can do this 20 into 100 into 100 by 4 into 4 भी कर सकते हो. 5 है, so 4 25 है 25 into 5, 125, 125 and double zero, your answer will be this. Okay, just remember one formula. Similar you can do this. Now let me tell you the last important type of compound interest. They said, अब देखो, सिंस इन कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट में क्या रहता है, इंटरेस्ट ऑन इंटरेस्ट है ना. अ सम डबल्स इन 8 ईयर एट कंपाउंड, विच मीन्स अ प्रिंसिपल इफ 1 है, सो इट्स अमाउंट टू 2. कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट में ना वी आर गेटिंग इंटरेस्ट ऑन इंटरेस्ट, आपके अमाउंट पे आपको इंटरेस्ट मिलता है ना. सो इन SI और इसमें डिफरेंस है ना. कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट में क्या रहेगा, 1 से 2, 2 से 4, 4 से 8 ऐसे जाएगा, बिकॉज यू आर गेटिंग इंटरेस्ट ऑन इंटरेस्ट. ठीक है. अ सम डबल्स इन 8 ईयर्स एट कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट, इन हाउ मेनी ईयर इट विल बिकम 4 टाइम. हमें क्या बनाना है अभी, 4 टाइम. देखो 1 to 2, 2 से 4, इसका डबल होने में इट गेट्स 8 ईयर. सो हियर इट विल गेट 8 ईयर्स, सो टोटल इट विल गेट 16 ईयर्स. ठीक है. सिमिलरली दिस क्वेश्चन, अ सम अंडर कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट डबल इट सेल्फ इन 4 ईयर्स, यानी 1 से 2 4 ईयर्स में होता है. हमें क्या बताना है, 16 टाइम. सो 2 से 4, 4 से 8, 8 to 16. तो एवरी टाइम डबल डबल हो रहा है ना, सो इट्स गेटिंग 4 ईयर्स. सो टोटल ईयर इट्स गेटिंग 16 ईयर. ओके, that's it beta. It's a topic of compound simple interest and compound interest. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me.